The Second Amendment isn't there for duck hunting. It's there to protect us from tyrannical government and street thugs. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand?
Holy Dinah. That's Alex Jones being interviewed or talking at Piers Morgan on CNN. Piers Morgan is a Brit who came over here and has a show on that low-rated channel. Alex Jones is a libertarian radio host, and joining us now is a fellow libertarian, our friend Peter Jaworski. Hey, Peter, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Ezra. What a guy that Alex Jones is, isn't he?
You know what? I was listening to that, and I mean, Piers Morgan is on a campaign to have America ban guns the same way that the UK has banned guns. And Piers Morgan despises the American Second Amendment. I think what he was trying to do is invite on a pro-gun activist that did not present well to try and caricature people who like guns as all wild men like Alex Jones.
I can't disagree with you, Ezra. This is exactly what I think happened in the case of Piers Morgan. I'm not a fan of conspiracy theories, but this one seems like a true one. You have somebody...
Sorry, I mean, I'm joking around. His show's called Prison Planet. He focuses on things. He likes to connect the dots, sometimes a little bit in a colorful way. But let's say this about Alex Jones. His argument actually is accurate. I think he just said it with about 7 too many cups of coffee in his blood.
Unfortunately, his argument was a little bit incoherent. It was like a caffeinated rant. I mean, I wish he could be a little bit more reasonable, but you're right. At bottom, the argument is correct. I mean, the original purpose of the Second Amendment in the United States was not to defend duck hunting or something like that. It really was to sort of protect, to give the people of America a sort of final line of defense against a tyrannical government. The problem with people like Alex Jones, though, is that he sees patterns where there are no patterns. He hears signal where there's just noise. People like Alex Jones think that there's a bunch of evil people out there, a cabal of bankers, for example, a cabal of corporate, a cabal of powerful politicians who run the world from the background. And he endorses libertarian institutions. He supports liberty, not because he cares about liberty, not because he thinks that liberty will result in good outcomes for most people. He endorses those institutions as a protection against these evil people with their evil intentions.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I think that he just takes liberty extremely seriously and extremely personally. On his way to the Piers Morgan show, he was stopped by a TSA agent and given a detention and a full frisking. He hates that sort of thing. He talks about that on his show all the time. And were they picking on him because his name came up on the computer? Who knows? We don't know enough about the TSA. Alex Jones assumes the worst about government and assumes the worst about the human nature of politicians. I don't see anything wrong with that. And I think it's natural that he would love liberty. He loves liberty because he worries it's in danger. I'm going to disagree. I think he's got his volume knob turned up a little bit high, and I think he sometimes sees ghosts where there are none. But I'd rather have someone with a hair trigger for being worried about liberty than someone who keeps hitting the snooze button and say, there's nothing to worry about.
There's nothing wrong with being alert to potential danger, and there's nothing wrong with thinking that political institutions tend to corrupt people's personalities and they change them into the kinds of people who will do bad things with political power. But there is something the matter with thinking that the whole thing is orchestrated behind the scenes by like a secretive cabal. Ezra, you'll agree with me on that, surely.
But isn't the United Nations and the European Union just actually real examples of secretive? That is, they're not transparent or open to the public. They're a cabal, that is, they're not elected, they're not democratically accountable. They're sort of permanent bureaucrats and diplomats who don't have any geographical or democratic roots. I mean, I don't think I'd use the phrase New World Order, but you can't deny that in the case of the United Nations, just like they have an international panel on climate change that's trying to, force carbon taxes on us all, they're trying to ban small arms around the world. I mean, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory to say, look what the UN is trying to do to have a worldwide ban on handguns. I think that's just accurate, isn't it?
I think you're right. I mean, there's a difference, though, between institutions that are not transparent, like the United Nations, and institutions like the United Nations who try to do all of those things. But the question is, are they effective? And Alex Jones, I think, he believes that these are very effective people. And as libertarians like myself, sometimes you've pointed this out as well, Ezra, one of the sort of cardinal paradigmatic features of a bureaucracy, of the civil service, of groups like the United Nations, is that they are horribly and terribly ineffective. Right? And that I see as the fundamental difference between the two. Of course, we should be alert to the United Nations. Of course, we should be alert to any institutions that are not fully transparent. But we shouldn't assume that these people are effective and that they're like puppeteers in the background, sort of orchestrating everything that happens in Canada and the United States. Yeah. We shouldn't view the stock market, the sort of random ups and downs of the stock market, as being orchestrated by a group of secret and, by the way, evil people who sort of make us do what they want them to do. We should view it as a kind of spontaneous order.
I don't believe we're automatons, but I think if we look at the collusion between big government and big business and the bailout of Wall Street 4 years ago, it's tough to poo-poo what Alex Jones was saying. I want to show you one more clip from CNN, though. After Alex Jones had his rant, and let me say, I wish he had said that in a calm language like you and I are talking, because everything he said was true. The world's tyrants start by disarming their public. But look at this panel discussion that had a good laugh about Alex Jones. This is someone from the Daily Beast, Gloria Allred, and the Huffington Post. It's just basically your left-wing talking heads laughing at Alex Jones. But listen to what they said. Roll the clip.
Frankly, why do we need guns? We don't need guns. We have 10,000 murders a year, as you tried to tell that big fat idiot last night. What do you need a semi-automatic weapon for? The only reason I think you need it is, Piers, challenge Alex Jones to a boxing match, show up with a semi-automatic that you got legally, and pop him.
I'd love to see that. In uniform.
Let's shoot the dissident. I mean, this is what just gets me about Hollywood liberals, Peter, is they joke about guns. There isn't a movie in Hollywood that doesn't involve mass shooting, yet God forbid a guy wants a gun to defend his house, or if, God forbid, liberty's in jeopardy, he's the idiot. I have to say, Alex Jones is too caffeinated, but out of the 4 people we've seen on TV from CNN, he's the one I feel the safest with.
You feel the safest with Alex Jones as compared to these other Hollywood liberals?
Yeah, who dominate the media. I think that Alex Jones is he may be a wacko, but he's more reasonable than the other 4 people that we just saw on CNN.
Well, I think he comes to the right conclusions. I mean, I do endorse something like the Second Amendment in Canada, but I think the reasons why he endorses the Second Amendment, they worry me.
I don't care his reasons. I don't care about his reasons.
Somebody like Alex Jones.
Hey, Peter, it's great to have you on the show.
You don't care about his motivations in these cases?
Not at all. As long as his result is the same. He loves liberty as much as you and I do. Let's talk again some more. It's great to have you back on the show. We got to have you on more frequently, my friend.